From FX Empire, this is Christopher Lewis looking at Bitcoin for December 11th, and you can see that I have the hourly chart in front of you. And this market has been very difficult to deal with unless you're a buy and hold trader, and that could change actually rather soon. And the reason I say that is futures markets. I keep getting emails about, the question that everybody wants to know is, what will the futures market do for Bitcoin? And the answer is nobody knows. I do know a lot of money managers out there that look at this as a parabolic market and are starting to think things like let it rise a bit and then start pummeling it to the short side. And truthfully, all one has to do is look at the monthly chart and you can see exactly how that could be thought. So with that, I look at this chart and short term, I have to think, okay, so do we have a bullish flag? And if so, that's a pretty significant move. Above 16,000, you could be looking at another, 21,000, but that's on Bitstamp. And that's the biggest problem with analyzing this. Comes down to the exchange you're on. Coinbase printed just a tick or two, basically, underneath 20,000 at the same time. Bitstamp did say 16,600. So that was basically a function of Coinbase not being able to handle the volume. And that tells me that institutional traders got involved because they have the type of volume that Bitcoin has not been dealing with. You hear a lot of noise about, okay, so the market cap of Bitcoin is the same size as Walmart now and this, that, and the other. But that doesn't mean that the trading activity is the same. And what I mean by that is a lot of the volume in Bitcoin has been retail traders that have bought and just hung on. So while the valuation may be that high, the reality is there's really been nobody there providing the type of liquidity that a stock market has. So what happens is occasionally you will get somebody involved who's going to throw, maybe $20 million at a time. And that is going to move the market because we don't have a centralized exchange. And in fact, we are starting to see a problem with the decentralization. And I think that might be the biggest problem with Bitcoin going forward. One of the biggest attractions of it may be its downfall. Now, that doesn't mean that there isn't a trading opportunity, but it's above 16,000 and you better have your stops in place. If we break down below this hammer, which shows support, that's a very negative sign. Really, at this point, I think we would go down to 12,000. Be very cautious with this market. I know that a lot of pain is going to be felt sooner or later.